Good morning. Welcome to Peak of the Week. This is your shot of spiritual caffeine for the week. I have to say though, my shot of spiritual caffeine is a little calmer. It's deeper. It's going to penetrate just as well as a shot of espresso, that's spiritual caffeine, but it's not as like woo woo. So just stay with me. I was thinking this morning, I was up really early. People were up in my house, like we have a hot tub. My husband was out in the hot tub at 4 a.m. this morning. Good morning, by the way. My son David is in exams right now at law school, so he was up till like 3 a.m. It's kind of a nut house sometimes in the middle of the night here. But I was up at 6 and I was reading the scriptures in Luke. And here's the verse that camped out. When I do these peaks of the week, right? I always pray, God, what do you want me to say? How can I encourage my friends right today, this moment? And I don't want it to necessarily be something that I prepared, although I love to prepare. I love to prepare. But I was like, I wasn't so sure. Anyway, here I'm reading in Luke, and Luke chapter 2. And I just get caught. Now, you know Luke chapter 2. It's the whole Christmas story, right? Good morning. Good morning. Oh my gosh, Callie, it's so good to see you. It's so beautiful to see you. Guys, say hi to me. I love it. Let me tell you though. Okay, so Luke chapter 2, and I just land on, I think it was verse 14. I wrote it down. And I'm like just landing on that. Yeah, 14. And it's glory to God in the highest. It's the whole angels, right? Filling the sky. Just filling the sky and saying to the shepherds, glory to God in the highest, and peace to those on whom his favor rests. Now listen, you know that verse. If you know anything about the Christmas story, you've read it 1,000 times. But for whatever reason, as I read through the book, that chapter this morning, verses 1 to 20, as I was reading through that, I just kept stopping on that verse and rereading it. Glory to God in the highest, and peace to those on whom his favor rests. And I was thinking, Jesus Christ came to the world for all the world. The baby was born to die for all the world. But that verse right there, and peace to those on whom his favor rest, just stayed with me. So then I go out for my walk. I go and I brisk walk with a friend for an hour, and I'm walking, and this is just kind of swirling around in my head. Come back, and I'm thinking, Lord, what do you want my peak of the week to be? Because usually I have it. Like I know what I'm. And I thought, let me look at the devotional I put out yesterday. You know, every Tuesday on Facebook, I put out a devotional, and on Instagram, and I checked back because I thought, what did I say yesterday about, whatever. I know I'm in Angel Voices. I've written about Angel Voices for the whole month of December. All of my devotionals are on angel voices, different voices that spoke into the Christmas narrative and account. So I look at it, and wouldn't you know it, you guys, it was all on the favor that rested on Mary and the angel coming to Mary, Luke 1:28, where the angel says, greetings, you who are highly favored. There it was again. And I was like, God, help me again remember what it means to be favored. So I'm asking you today, what does it mean for you to be favored by God? Are you favored by God? Do you consider yourself favored by God? Maybe you think, what does it even mean? What does it even mean to be favored by God? Because if you think about Mary, it was a very specific favoring, right? Highly favored. If you think about Mary, well, Mary had a particular calling, and a particular high calling, obviously, to give birth to the Christ child, to allow the promise to build in her belly, her virgin body, and then to be chaste and to be having to flee and all of the things that she had to endure. Is that what you call favor? You call that favor? What do you think of as favor, God's favor on you this Christmas? Is favor when your friends call, or when you get the gifts that you wanted, or when you get to be with the family you were hoping you could be, and then it was taken away because of COVID, and then maybe you could be again, but then someone got sick, and back and forth and back. Is that favor? What do you consider God's favor on you? And I want to give you one suggestion that you probably, maybe you'll think, maybe it will settle your soul the way it settles mine. Although on the other hand, regard it as special. Yes. You know what? I have a friend, Callie, who says that she's God's favorite. I'm God's favorite. And you're God's favorite. And you're God's favorite. And you're God's favorite. And you're God's favorite. That we're all God's favorites. Because his partiality isn't the way we think of it, right? There's enough favor and favoritism. It's not the way we think of as favorite. There's not enough room for others to have the same kind of favorite and favor. Maybe the words aren't exactly the same, but you get my idea. So certainly we could say Mary was favored. Isn't that good, Callie? Mary was highly favored, but so are you. And so am I. And then I go back to the Luke 2 that I read this morning. Glory to God in the highest, and peace to those on whom his favor rests. Listen, if you have an inkling of God this Christmas, if at any point your heart and your mind and your eyes are lifted to see God in a new way, to encounter him in a warm way, to encounter him in a powerful way, if you have had an experience where you get God like you've never gotten him before, you understand just a little bit better, that is God's favor resting on you. That is God's favor, chosen for such a time as this. Exactly, Lorraine, right? Chosen for the things that you have. Listen, forget about tomorrow, my friends, today. This peak of the week, this shot of spiritual caffeine that I want to give to you every single Wednesday. This week, it's not a rah, but it is a deep and deeply intense. You are favored by God. If you have any idea of this God who came to earth, if you have any idea of the bigness, and it's growing and increasing in measure all the time of just how big he is, that is God's favor on you. If you are enduring hardship right now for such a time as this, Lisa, what are you saying? Peace to those on whom his favor rests. That is a great thing. You better believe it. God's favor, my friends, is resting on you. Is that a shot of spiritual caffeine for today in this peak of the week? I pray it is. God's favor rests on you. You are the favored one. Forget about tomorrow. Just for today. You are favored, highly favored. Take that with you this peak of the week. Mwah. God bless you. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, you guys.